6 p.m. in Mokolo and same time right here in the economic capital city, Douala. Good evening, dear viewers of Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much for joining me on today's edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. I am Immaculate Fogwe. First, our major stories. 8 suspected bandits aged between 38 and 41 years old accused of attacking homes and making away with valuable items of their victims and now in the dragnet of security officers. The gang of alleged bandits operating in localities like Bagante, Bangu and Baham, all in the West region, are said to have given residents sleepless nights, and at the time of the arrest they were in possession of 10 million francs CFA, 3 cars and firearms. And away from that, bishops in Cameroon re-echoed their disapproval of same-sex marriages despite Vatican's approval. Speaking during the 47th annual Episcopal Conference in Marwa, the bishops unanimously agreed that no bishop in Cameroon will bless any same-sex couple, given that it is a taboo. And away from that, those are major stories. Stay with us for details and more. Thank you so much for choosing Equinoxe Television. You made the right choice. 8 suspected armed bandits have been nabbed by gendarme elements in Baham, Upper Plateau Division of the West region. At the time of the arrest, they were in possession of 10 million francs CFA, 3 vehicles and other dangerous weapons. Innocent Aze reports.
The 8 suspects between the ages of 34 and 41 are accused of burgling into residents, aggressing their victims in different localities including Baham, Bamena, Bangu and Bangante, depriving them of their possessions. They had a special modus operandi. One of the inmates at the Bafoussam Central Prison calls and gives them potential homes and directives to get inside for operation. One of them goes to familiarize himself with the named home. Once that is done, they regroup and carry out their operation. Once they get you, you are forced to transfer all the money in your phone into their account. The sum of 10 million francs CFA, 3 vehicles and 35 cartons of phytosanitary items were confiscated from the suspects. The 3 vehicles seized from the 8 criminals include a RAV4 Jeep, Toyota Corolla and pick-up. Also seized from the suspects were 5 matches, 2 nail pullers, arms and munitions. The senior divisional officer for the Upper Plateau Division, Ebele Ernest Samuel, saluted the relentless efforts of the gendarmes to fight against banditry and criminality.
I think we will have the peace through collaboration.
He and the gendarme officials encouraged the population to continue giving a helping hand to the forces of law and order responsible for their security and protection of their properties.
And away from that, users of the Zashman-Dokoti-Dogbong stretch of road complain of its impassable state due to craters found on it. According to residents, traffic and accidents are common here daily, with the situation worsened by uncompleted maintenance works. Innocent Aze tells us more about the state of this road.
Accessing the Zashman-Dogbong-Dokoti stretch of road is a veritable nightmare to the population, who say have been abandoned by municipal authorities. Of what use are the multiple councils we have in Douala? The road is degraded with deep craters, hindering flexible circulation. We fall in the crater around the cemetery every day. We question if the country is still alive. Look at how circulation is tedious. Apart from this, accidents are common almost on a daily basis. I am just from falling. It is our daily bread. The situation seems to be better now compared to last year when maintenance works had not started.
We just finished to remove the spoil materials, and now we are starting from the base. From that base, we come in with our seawall, 20 centimeters. So when we finish to put our seawall, we compact with our compacting machine, and then we call the team of the pavé to come and put the sand and the pavé to finish the project.
Even with the ongoing maintenance works already at its termination phase, road users still frowned at what they qualify as super delay to produce poor results. They keep deceiving us they are fixing roads which do not last. Why can't they do a lasting job? Who are they deceiving? Road users are also angry with the blocking of certain paths, which has caused another problem, traffic jam. The deviation path created, according to them, is dusty, exposing them to respiratory illnesses.
From the Littoral region, we now take you to the southwest region of the country, where a land dispute between the Bafors and the Balongs of the Makuje in the Memet division is tearing Kumba apart. Inhabitants of Kumba and Memet division cry that the dispute might cost them the prestigious Higher Technical Teachers Training College. Worthy to note is that the land dispute has been earmarked for the construction of the school. Fomi Armstrong Sanda reports.
Mokonje ownership tussle over Free Corners Fiango had been long and low-key before this public outing and declaration of Mokonje community leaders.
7 years ago, when Professor Jacques Pham Dongo came here to place this monument that you see behind me, Chief Ekoko, your late father, God rest his soul, stood aside while my father performed the traditional rites on this land. Knowing who your father was, he would never, I repeat, never stand aside while another chief performs traditional rites on a land he claims he owns. Kumba is not made up of the Bafo community only.
The area disputed hosts one of the sites earmarked for the construction of the Higher Technical Teachers Training College of the University of Buea. Insisting that the land is theirs, the Mokonje traditional rulers say they are not fighting against development.
The government has sent numerous projects to the Meme division, but they all now go to Faku because of disputes like this. Who loses? It's our loss. Everyone. Fako has 2 stadiums. We can't even boast of one.
After a meeting of Bafo traditional rulers at the palace of the Bafo Paramount ruler, Chief Njanga Bafo says the Bafos have more authentic ownership proof to the disputed Free Corners Fiango portion of land.
The people of Kumba have owned and been in possession of this parcel of land from the colonial periods. In the colonial period. And we say possession is 9/10 of the law. Okay, and we can prove our possession by the documents I have handed to you from 1902 up to date. If you go there now, the quarter heads there were appointed right from colonial period up to date.
He says they of the Bafo communities merely allowed the Balongs of Mokonje to settle on the area.
And documents are there how the land was being given to them by our forefathers who were open-handed. So Kumba is still a blessed town and it will still be blessing people. Come from anywhere, Kumba will make you become rich.
Created in 2016 and earmarked for construction here, the Higher Technical Teachers Training College construction project remains on paper while the communities fight on who owns the earmarked site. While each of the communities remain glued to their original positions, local inhabitants and lovers of Kumba look up to the silent local administrators for arbitration.
And let's now meet up with our reporters on special assignment in Cote d'Ivoire, Smajikan Gabriel and Ai Cyril. They'll be giving us latest updates as far as the trainings of the Lions is ongoing there in Cote d'Ivoire. Hello Smart, good evening. What's happening over there in Ivory Coast?
Bonsoir, le Cameroun Aquaba au stade de l'IMPH, l'Institut de formation Félix Houphouët-Boigny, où se déroule la 2e séance d'entraînement des Lions indomptables du Cameroun. Les poulains de Rigobert Sombana ont connu une séance de décrassage, c'était hier, mais aujourd'hui on met un peu plus d'intensité. La séance se déroule sur cette pelouse de l'IMPH, le centre de formation Félix Houphouët-Boigny, ainsi que vous pouvez le voir derrière nous. Les joueurs convoqués par le manager sélectionneur sont bien à l'entraînement.
Akwaba, Cameroon, Akwaba Douala, you're welcome to the Training Institute. That is the pitch of the Training Institute of Felix Houphouët-Boigny, where the national team is having their second training session after the light one that they had on Wednesday when they arrived here. And you must have noticed there are 26 of them. One is lacking. He is none other than Andrew Nana, who took special permission to be here, maybe on the eve of the first game of Cameroon. But for now, the 26 players called up by Rigobert Song are having their second training session, and they are right behind us. We shall be giving you update as it's going on out here at the Houphouët-Boigny Training Institute pitch, where will be the main training space for the Lions. But don't forget, it is the same area that the Gambia will also be having their training sessions.
Oui, peut-être une petite légère modification parce que finalement chaque équipe aura son terrain d'entraînement. Dont le centre de formation IMPH est réservé exclusivement aux Lions indomptables. Donc la Gambie aura son centre certainement au centre parce que ici on est au sud. Il y a l'IMPH sud, là où les Lions s'entraînent, l'IMPH centre, là où la Gambie, elle, va s'entraîner. Donc on va permettre aux téléspectateurs d'Equinoxe Télévision évidemment de suivre cette séance d'entraînement qui est coordonnée comme d'habitude par Sébastien Migné. L'entraîneur de Rigobert Song, le manager sélectionneur, lui s'occupe justement de manager, il coordonne un peu tout, il supervise un peu tout, mais celui qui travaille véritablement sur le terrain avec les joueurs, c'est bien entendu Sébastien Migné, l'entraîneur de Rigobert Song. Il faut voir qu'il y a quelques ateliers. Ici, par exemple, sur ces images de Eric Ouattat que les téléspectateurs d'Equinoxe ont en exclusivité, on voit Souleymane Ouamidou, l'entraîneur de gardien de but, qui travaille avec les 3 gardiens qui sont là pour l'instant, à savoir Fabrice Ondoa. Lui, il est en noir avec les gants jaunes. Il est tout de noir vêtu avec les gants jaunes. Davis Epassi, lui, il est en maillot rouge avec des gants plutôt noirs. Alors que Simon Gapendwedbou, lui, il est en maillot rouge et des gants rouges. Ça, c'est pour faire un peu la différence entre les gardiens de but qui s'entraînent en ce moment. Sous la houlette, bien entendu, de Souleymane Hamidou, entraîneur des gardiens de but. Les joueurs de champ, eux, sont un peu plus vers le rond central, vers la médiane, en train de faire quelques petits échauffements, quelques petits exercices tels que indiqués bien entendu par Sébastien Migné, qui est l'entraîneur l'adjoint de Rigobert Song, qui lui est le manager sélectionneur des Lions indomptables du Cameroun. Alors que c'est pas tout le monde qui est là. Il y en a qui ont des exercices plutôt individuel, ainsi qu'on peut le constater sur ces images. Alors, on l'a dit, on met un peu plus de tonus maintenant, ça gagne un peu plus en intensité, parce que la première séance d'hier, c'était juste de la relaxation, des crassages, après le long voyage de Jeddah à Yamoussoukro. Après le stage bloqué à Jeddah, il fallait d'abord un petit peu se relâcher avant de reprendre véritablement.
And as I rightly put it, you notice that not all of the players are on the pitch. We have the case of our brother from Toulouse. He wasn't really part of the training sessions in Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, so he is still having his little warm-up around, while the other players who were in Jeddah from day one of the training sessions are there on the pitch having some stretch up. And as we earlier mentioned, it is the second training session of the Lions, and you notice that Rigobert Song and Sébastien Migné, they are just standing by and watching what the fitness coach is doing with the other players. And for now, it's just a little exercise, but don't forget that the first 15 minutes of this training session will be open for the press, while after the press leaves, then serious things will happen. Maybe some taxis will be brought in, and you'll notice the only man with colored hair on the pitch is none other than Clinton Nje. They call him Papi Mukala, the boy from Great Support or Small Support there in Boya, who is actually the lone person with the colored hair, and he is so specific on the pitch. The others will have their own hairdos with the normal dark hair, but Clinton J is with the colored hair, and we see it is the ball jogging, playing with the ball, as of course they need to know how to do ball control. That is just what we are seeing on the pitch right now. Controlling the ball and conserving the ball, as you've noticed. And as I told you, not every player is on the pitch. We have our brother here who is having a special exercise session. He was not with the team from day one in Jeddah, so he really needs to catch up. And you'll notice that Suleimanu at the far end is with the goalkeepers, 3 of them who are already here. And we notice that one person, Fabrice Odua Ebogo, is putting on a black, and maybe Ike, it is already showing, when people see that way, it's already an indication that maybe if he's putting on something different, maybe we are not saying that he will be the one against Guinea, but it seems he is definitely the choice that will be used against Guinea. But that is just what we are not yet certain. But putting on a different color from the others, though he has a red inside, is something that we need to take note a lot. And back on the pitch, you will notice that all of the players are now using the ball. We have the young man from Reading FC, or the young man from Reading FC. Yes, they call him Benjamin Elliott. He was formerly with Chelsea. And we have the Wilfred Douala from Victoria United, who is largely the youngest within the team, 17 years as we were told. He is also on the pitch, and is one of the 2 locally based players called up for this 34th edition of the Nations Cup here in Cote d'Ivoire. And to note that apart from Wilfred Douala from Victoria United, we have the striker from Dynamo FC of Douala, Ateba, who is also there with the national team. They are the 2 local based players, that is the elite 1 players who were called up, and the rest are professionals. And the training session is all about ball control, Ike.
Oui, justement, ce sont des petits contrôles de balle. Hein. On les amène, le manager sélectionnant, en tout cas, les techniciens les amènent à prendre connaissance et se familiariser avec le ballon. On leur apprend également à contourner les obstacles. Si vous voyez un peu comment tout cela est disposé, on leur apprend à contourner les obstacles et à pouvoir faire face à la difficulté si jamais elle se présente, alors que le ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique arrive à cette séance d'entraînement, le professeur Narcisse Mouelé-Kombi, qui est venu lui-même voir comment la préparation se déroule. Vous le découvrez en exclusivité sur Equinoxe Télévision. Le ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique avec son état-major qui arrive à cette séance d'entraînement des Lions indomptables du Cameroun, le professeur Narcisse Mouelé-Kombi, qui est venu lui-même voir comment les choses se passent peut-être qu'on va arracher un petit mot du ministre des Sports. Vous arrivez au moment où les Lions sont en train de s'entraîner. Un message particulier, monsieur le ministre?
Écoutez, je suis particulièrement heureux d'être là. Je voudrais rendre hommage au président de la République, son Excellence Paul Biya, qui a bien voulu me constituer son représentant personnel, chef de la délégation officielle, un mot de la délégation du Cameroun à la 34e édition de la CAN Total Énergie Afrique. Vous savez, le Cameroun a organisé avec un brio remarquable, incontestable, admirable, la 33e édition de la CAN et a passé le relais à la Côte d'Ivoire, un pays frère, un pays ami, avec lequel nous entretenons des relations cordiales, amicales et très anciennes, fructueuses. Puisque nous sommes dans la période des vœux, vous me permettrez de former quelques vœux. Dans la mesure où le Cameroun a passé le relais à la Côte d'Ivoire, notre souhait, au nom du grand public sportif camerounais, est que notre successeur puisse réaliser une belle CAN. Ceci pour célébrer l'Afrique. Nous souhaitons que cette 34e édition de la CAN soit une magnifique occasion de célébrer les valeurs chères à l'Afrique, valeurs de fraternité, valeurs d'hospitalité, valeurs de convivialité. Les Camerounais sont nombreux ici, des dizaines de milliers, autant de supporters qui s'attendent à expérimenter ces valeurs qui sont chères au Cameroun. L'hospitalité, la fraternité, le vivre ensemble. Et ce sera certainement l'occasion pour ce grand pays qu'est la Côte d'Ivoire, cette grande nation qu'est la Côte d'Ivoire, de montrer qu'elle est et qu'elle demeure l'un des foyers ardents de la fraternité, de la solidarité et de la convivialité africaine.
Alors, Monsieur le ministre, représentant personnel du chef de l'État, le Cameroun a remporté sa première CAN ici à Abidjan. Le vœu aussi, c'est que 40 ans après, le Cameroun remporte une 6e couronne en Côte d'Ivoire.
Il me semble que vous êtes attaché au symbole. 1984, 2024, cela fait exactement 40 ans. 40 ans, mais 42 ans de renouveau sportif. C'est dans cette plage historique du renouveau sportif, c'est-à-dire depuis l'accession au pouvoir à la magistrature suprême du président de la République, son Excellence Paul Biya, que le Cameroun a remporté 5 fois le plus prestigieux des trophées continentaux africains en matière de football. Et effectivement, la première fois, c'était en 1984, en Côte d'Ivoire, sous le règne du président Félix Houphouët-Boigny, dont nous sommes dans la ville natale, hommage à ce très grand homme d'État africain, d'illustre mémoire. Et 40 ans plus tard, nous revoilà, 5 trophées plus tard, nous revoici en Côte d'Ivoire. Notre souhait, évidemment, nous sommes toujours dans la période des vœux, notre vœu est que le Cameroun puisse éblouir, que les lions indomptables puissent rugir et qu'ils puissent donner le meilleur d'eux-mêmes pour accomplir avec panache la mission qui leur a été confiée par le chef de l'État à travers le message qu'avait bien voulu porter, traduire le représentant personnel du président de la République, le ministre directeur cabinet civil, M. Samuel Vandoyolo, lors de la cérémonie de remise du flambeau aux Lions indomptables au palais polyvalent des sports. Ce message, c'était une exhortation adressée aux Lions indomptables afin qu'ils puissent défendre honorablement, valablement les couleurs du Cameroun. Mieux encore, le président de la République, dans son adresse à la nation du 31 décembre dernier, a terminé son magnifique discours porteur d'espoir, porteur d'optimisme et d'espérance pour le Cameroun par un appel aux Lions indomptables, à la bravoure des Lions indomptables, aux performances des Lions indomptables et en leur souhaitant bien sûr bonne chance. Nous ne pouvons que nous inscrire dans le sillage de Monsieur le Président de la République, le premier sportif camerounais, qui a tout mis en œuvre, mais alors tout, qui est même allé au-delà de ce qui est basique, pour pouvoir mettre les Lions indomptables dans les meilleures conditions de préparation. Je puis vous assurer que toutes les dispositions ont été prises au niveau du gouvernement, sous la coordination de M. le Premier ministre, chef Dr Joseph Dion-Gouté, en rapport avec le ministère des Finances, pour que les primes de participation ou de présence dues aux Lions indomptables soient effectivement payées avant le début de la compétition. Toutes les dispositions ont été prises afin que cet engagement puisse être réalisé. Ce n'est qu'un aspect des efforts que l'État, le gouvernement, consent pour mettre les Lions indomptables dans des conditions qui soient telles qu'ils ne puissent souffrir de rien dans la perspective de la manifestation de ce qu'ils ont comme talent, de ce qu'ils ont comme génie, qu'ils puissent exprimer avec brio ce talent avec efficacité. L'efficacité consistera en la victoire. Bien sûr, le président de la République a toujours exalté le fighting spirit, mais il en appelle aussi souvent au au fair play, dans la mesure où il met en évidence ce qu'il a appelé si poétiquement la glorieuse incertitude du sport. Mais nous sommes là pour remettre en cause un certain nombre de pronostics malheureux, de pronostics néfastes, de pronostics défavorables à notre sélection nationale, qui pourtant est l'une des plus attendues et l'une des mieux titrée, sinon la deuxième sélection nationale la plus titrée de cette compétition. Il n'y a donc pas lieu de céder au pessimisme ou à une espèce d'anticipation négative en se disant les pronostiqueurs, même les plus sérieux, n'accordent que la 9e place en termes de capacité à remporter la CAN au Cameroun. De toutes les façons, les Lions indomptables ont souvent ébloui par leur capacité à surprendre positivement, par leur capacité à retourner des situations qui apparemment ou a priori pouvaient être interprétées comme défavorables et les ont transformées souvent en des occasions heureuses, en des occasions de victoire. Nous les appelons, nous les exhortons, à la suite du président de la République, un grand fighting spirit, un grand esprit de combativité, à une grande quête, une grande ambition pour et vers la performance, et nous en appelons surtout à une cohésion. Nous avons l'habitude de leur dire que l'harmonie est la plateforme fondamentale de la victoire. Sans l'harmonie, il n'y a point de construction possible de la puissance. Et c'est pour cela que nous en appelons à une union sacrée autour des Lions indomptables. Nous en appelons à ce que les Lions indomptables puissent être galvanisés par ce grand souffle conquérant qui a porté des générations de nos légendes, de nos icônes en matière de football vers la victoire et à faire en sorte que nous ayons l'une des sélections de football national les mieux admirées au monde.
Merci, monsieur le ministre. C'était donc le ministre des Sports et de l'Éducation physique qui est donc arrivé ici au centre d'entraînement des Lions indomptables du Cameroun. Il est venu galvaniser les joueurs, il est venu apporter l'encouragement du gouvernement, du président de la République, le ministre des Sports lui-même, représentant personnel du président de la République. Et vous l'avez entendu, smart, toutes les mesures ont été prises afin que les primes, la question des primes, les primes soient payées. Primes de participation, primes de qualification et toutes autres primes, qu'elles soient payées avant que les Lions ne se déplacent pour Yamoussoukro.
All right, and the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Chief Professor Narcis Mwale Kombi, who was speaking on the microphone of Equinoxe TV, he came to see the Indomitable Lions training session, and one thing I got from it is they have done everything possible for a good Nations Cup for the Lions. Match bonuses, presentation, the bonuses, all of them have been paid, as you must have noticed. So that is it. That is it from this end, and the first 15 minutes already over. We are leaving the space for the training session to continue without cameras.
Voilà, c'est donc terminé pour en tout cas pour la retransmission de cette séance d'entraînement. La séance n'est pas finie, mais on reste avec les Lions. On va revenir, on va certainement vous donner tout ce qu'il faudra savoir sur les entraînements des Lions indomptables. Restez sur Equinoxe Télévision.
Thanks a bunch, Smarty Kangable and Ike Cyril, for those latest updates on what's happening at the Lions Den right there in Côte d'Ivoire. And still in sports, the Scorpions of the Gambia are expected in Yamoussoukro, Côte d'Ivoire later today after 24 hours delay. The flight of Air Ivoire transporting the Gambia will not have a stopover in Abidjan after President Adama Barrow struck an agreement with his counterpart of Côte d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara, for the flight to leave directly from Banjul to Yamoussoukro. What caused the delay of the Gambian delegation to Côte d'Ivoire? Our envoy to Yamoussoukro, Smarty Kangable, is on standby with a response.
welcome to the 220 neighborhood. We are at Yamoussoukro. Yamoussoukro is the political capital of Côte d'Ivoire, and you must have noticed that in Group C, where we have Cameroon, we have Senegal, and we have the Gambia and Guinea, just two nations this far have already touched down in Yamoussoukro. And one of the nations that was being expected here in Yamoussoukro was the Gambia. The Scorpions of the Gambia were supposed to touch down here in Yamoussoukro. That was on Wednesday. Unfortunately, they did not actually make it. What actually went wrong? Now, according to information we gathered on social media, it had to do with problems of match bonuses which have not been paid. Unfortunately, 4 hours was wasted without any resolutions, and at the time when resolutions were taking the Gambia to travel out, we had a little problem within the flight. That is the Air Ivoire that was sent to carry the Scorpions. We hear about 9 minutes in the air, there was a problem of oxygen, and the plane was supposed to return to Banjul Airport. According to a post from the official website of the Gambian Football Federation, they made us to understand that it wasn't an issue of match bonuses, but instead it was a technical issue that caused them not to arrive here in Yamoussoukro on Wednesday. Latest information, according to what we gathered from the same federation this Thursday, they made us to understand that it was thanks to the intervention of Adama Barrow, who is the president of the Gambia, who has given authorization that a special flight from Air Ivoire will be sent to Banjul that will carry the Scorpions of the Gambia and will bring them to Yamoussoukro. The Scorpions of Gambia, with the delay they had on Wednesday, had time to train in their own pitch, and they said they are coming right set. The first match for the Gambia will be against the defending champion Senegal, who arrived in Yamoussoukro on Tuesday. Eric Florent Wattard, Smart Njikan Gabriel, on special assignment for Equinoxe Television News, Yamoussoukro.
And still in sports, the head coach of the Scorpions of Gambia, Tom Sian Fiet, explains to us a problem rocking the team, especially in connection to bonuses. Let's take a listen to this excerpt selected by Smart Njikan Gabriel.
And players expected, and that's normal everywhere. So yes, it's a money issue, but I'm not here sitting here as the representative of the players. I'm sitting here as the coach, yeah, cleared. But you better ask details on the captain and on the players, or on the people involved on the other side of the table, government and federation, because they can give you better answers than me. The preparation actually is not what you want. We were planned to go 27 December on training camp. That was the date that everyone was just prepared. But I have to say that we had a fantastic training camp. Hotel was top, training ground was good. We worked very hard, players were very focused, and we had a very good group atmosphere, so I'm quite happy with that.
Now, away from sports, human trafficking remains a serious problem in Cameroon. Several persons, including hundreds of internally displaced persons, are subjected to degrading and inhumane conditions and exploited for economic and gains by those hosting them, offering them a supposed job. Babila Jonathan reports on the phenomenology and efforts of civil society organizations to curb the ill. His reports.
For the past few years, human trafficking has been on the rise in Cameroon. Traffickers exploit domestic and foreign victims in different parts of the country. The U.S. State Department 2023 Trafficking in Person Report Case of Cameroon reveals that high unemployment rates and economic uncertainty continue to drive many, especially women, to contemplate economic migration under questionable circumstances, leaving them vulnerable to traffickers. Government officials, non-governmental organizations, and media outlets report more than 1 million internally displaced persons, an increased risk of human trafficking due to insecurity in some regions, including the northwest, southwest, and far north, a diminished police and judicial presence, and deteriorated economic and educational conditions.
The crisis around the country, especially in the regions of the northwest and the southwest, which has led to the massive displacement of people internally has heightened the issue of trafficking in person because of the displacement of people.
Civil society organizations like the Center for Human Rights and Peace Advocacy, CRAPA, are stepping up efforts to reverse the trend. It is for this purpose that these community mobilizers and journalists are being equipped with knowledge to enhance the fight against the evil and ensure the protection of human rights.
The most important thing is that we are already talking about it. And when we're talking about it, it means that we are creating awareness that the law exists. And it is not good for the law to simply exist. It is good to be implemented. And therefore, we would, by mobilizing the communities, by mobilizing journalists, we want you to make noise about it.
All are called to action to end or curb the evil of trafficking in persons in Cameroon and beyond.
Of Cameroon, a top UN court opens hearings on genocide charges against Israel. Israel, however, rejected the accusations of genocide as false and baseless. It was accused Pretoria of playing advocate of the devil for Hamas, the Palestinian Islamist militant group. And in Kenya, the court gave authorities 14 days to prosecute a suspected cult leader who invited his followers to starve to death. A runner of these stories with our reporter, Malaglory.
A legal battle over whether Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza amounts to genocide opens this Thursday at the United Nations Top Court with preliminary hearings into South Africa's call for justice to order an immediate suspension of Israel's military actions. Israel strangely denies the genocide allegations. The case that is likely to take years to resolve strikes at the heart of Israel's national identity. Its ruling African National Congress party has long compared Israel policies in Gaza and the West Bank to its own history. Thursday's opening hearing is focused on South Africa's request for the courts to impose binding interim orders, including that Israel halts its military campaign, a decision which will likely take weeks. And elsewhere, a Kenyan court warned prosecutors Tuesday it will release under its own terms a pastor and others accused of being behind the deaths of 429 people believed to be his cult followers if they aren't charged within 2 weeks. For months since the arrest last April, prosecutors have asked the courts for permission to keep holding Paul Mackenzie and 28 others while they look into the case that shocked Kenyans with the discovery of mass graves and allegation of starvation. But Shanzu Senior Principal Magistrate Yusuf Shakinda noted that the suspect had been detained for 117 days since the last application for an extension, and it was enough to have completed investigations.
And that report done by Malaglory ends this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for your keen attention. Stay in the company of more interesting programs on ETV.